Alright, Unified Facility Criteria, UFC Design Petroleum Fuel Facilities. Chapter 11, Support Facilities. 11.1, Introduction. The chapter provides design criteria for the facility which may require the support of fueling activities, specifically operations, building, contaminated fuel recovery system, road, utilities, aircraft, refueler parking areas detailed in the chapter. The operation of the building reviewing activities establish the needs of each component of the building. Actors will activate the review and or number of the people required for the fueling activity level, activity, the type of the fuels handled, on-site quality control, availability, replacement parts, availability, maintenance, support, and level of training required. Design and standard support facilities shall be designed in accordance with the UFC 014 general requirements, the UFC 014 fire protection requirements. 11.2 Fuel Office. Provide a fuel office sufficient space to perform the necessary planning with administrative management functions associated with the accomplishment of the fuel division mission and refer to the AFH 321084 for size of Air Force projects. 11.2.3 Training the conference room for the room. Provide multiple purpose for the proper room with equipment for the training confined for the briefing of the design for the room to accommodate the furniture ensure having the built-in features such as the market board, tack board, bookshelf, screen clock, coat hooks, and storage cabinets. Fuel maintenance workshop. Provide a fuel maintenance workshop with adequate size for the convenient work with a bench, compressed air, electrical outlets available to provide slip and fuel-resistant floor, and an emergency shower and eye wash to be adequately stored adjacent with the workbench. Frequently used the tools and spare hardware, the items, accessory if the facility is large enough to mission warrants consider the overhead crane laundry facility show the facility refer to the chapter 2 of the UFC for the electrical hazard classification requirements of the NFPA regulation ventilation requirements. 11.2.5 Storeroom. To provide adequate storeroom for spray hose, nozzles, for filter elements, special tools, special clothing, test equipment, and fuel spill and cleaning equipment. Determine the size and location of each of the facilities to provide with efficiency. Each supplies of the ordinary storage location ready to access the needed material for the fuel division personnel. 11.2.6 Laboratories shall comply with the general facilities requirement of the UFC 014 and FPA 45 laboratories using chemical to fuel laboratory size associated with equipment depending on the scope of the quality surveillance and testing program. Perform with the design of laboratory in accordance with the applicable NFPA CFR accords with a review or NFPA 45 applicable minimum laboratory requirements as follows. Lightning fixture in accordance with the NFPA 70% sinking with the hot and run cold water, included the hot water heated cable to provide with the water with 130 degrees Fahrenheit for the cleaning and laboratory glassware. Workbench with the counter sufficient size to accommodate and maintain alcohol. All required testing equipment is ready to use the position compromised the countertop the non-permeable material suitable for the working with the petroleum fuels. Ensure the laboratory flowing materials are impermeable, suitable with the fuel laboratories. Storage cabinets, testing equipment, support items. For example, the bottle dry racking, square mile pour pads, construction cabinets, non-permeable material suitable for exposure to the petroleum facilities. Fume hood. Complying with the Title 49 CFR Part 1, 1910, 11450, Appendix A, electrical equipment located inside the fume hood should be rated with the classified apparent areas. Emergency eye wash shower construction adjacent wall with waterproof, water-resistant materials. Outward opening bound doors and panic bars. Multiple doors may be needed to provide accordance with the NFPA 45 portable firefighting equipment, telephone, fire alarm, box, waste tank, mains, disposal fuel system, limited lighted exit signs capable of maintaining the laboratory 70 degrees Fahrenheit plus or minus 5 degrees required to protect laboratory equipment, bounding and the grounding of all metal working surface electrical equipment. Also provide with a common static ground strap to the ground points readily accessible to all fixed working surfaces along entrance doors, recessed floor, and preventing fuel from the flowing in adjacent areas. Windows constructed with the fireproof, protecting with the drapers, curtains that are prohibited. The interior wall windows are provided with the use of translucent for reinforced safety glass. The HVAC system is designed so that the air of the laboratory does not recirculate over the portions of the building. Interior separation or the proportions of the building with the partition rated with the fire separation with the required with the FPA 45, the type N, unprotected non-combustible construction. Provide location connection for the automatic laboratory glassware washer, electrical installation, laboratory work where work areas are not classified. 11.2.7 Miscellaneous safety equipment provided with the firefighting, fire alarm, emergency eye wash and shower equipment provided with the emergency eye wash and shower. Tempered water with the cold weather climates. Also see the applicable service and specific guidelines. 11.2.8 Control room. When computerized control equipment is anticipated to provide with the control room with the adequate size of the maximum view of the outside activities, all electrical space along the ceiling wall interface, future installation security monitors considered electrical receptacle data outlets for future use. 1129 miscellaneous space provided by the toilet, shower facilities, lockers, dressing room, mechanical room, electrical room, janitor closet, breaking room, etc. based on the size of the facility and plan with the activities provided exhaust for the locker room through the back of the top of the lockers, communications, provision, telephone data transmission, other plane communications equipment. 11.3. The roads, design the road, field, and facility accommodated maintenance activities, operation, personnel, field delivery, or issues in addition to the evaluated the road was relating to the facility adequacy with width and access, geometric weight, and the restriction for the vehicles, access roads in the decked areas around the tank. See Chapter 8 for the unified facility criteria of the UFC 3250 18 FA, UFC 32250 01 FA for design guidelines. 11.4. Utilities. In most cases, fuel facilities requiring water, domestic fire protection, sanitary, sewer, and electricity. 11.5. Aircraft and refueler, fuel delivery vehicle parking. 11.5.1. And ensuring the aircraft refuel or ground fuel delivery vehicle parking meets the following criteria. The minimum for additional design guidance refer to the Navy Air 0080T 109, Air Force FTO 0025 172. Clearances provide a minimum of 25 feet between the center lines adjacent to the aircraft, refueler truck, the ground fuel delivery vehicles, and parked position of 10 feet. Minimum clear space between the parked trucks, whichever is greater. Provide a minimum of 50 feet between the aircraft and the ground with the fuel delivery vehicle parking area to follow the uninhibited building of the project, new project pump housing, filter separated building of the taxi aircraft, the fencing, and space limitation 100 feet. The space available. The roads outside the skirting the fence, overhead protection, communication lines, pad mounted transformers, parked aircraft, any building other than a maintenance building provided with a minimum of 100 feet between the aircraft and the ground fuel delivery vehicle parking area in the following inhabited buildings above ground storage tanks, tanker truck offloading stations, truck fill stations, property lines, highways, new petroleum oil lubrication operation buildings, air support surface detection radar equipment. Provide a minimum of 300 feet between an aircraft refuel, ground delivery, parking, and the following: aircraft warning radar antennas, airborne surveillance radar may be operated. Provide a minimum of 500 between the aircraft and the refuel, ground fuel delivery, parking areas, airport, ground approach control equipment. Provide a distance as great as particularly possible between the aircraft and the refuel, the ground fuel delivery vehicle, parking areas, the radio transmittal antennas. Contact the installation safety outfits to obtain the design criteria for the aircraft, the refuel, ground fuel delivery vehicle, parking area, the aircraft carrying explosive materials. 11.5.3. Arrangements performed. Arrangements parallel position the front to back variations to are acceptable. Provided with front to back clearance between the vehicles such that as the aircraft refuel or fuel delivery vehicle in the back position would not have the backup to pull out of the parking position. The distance will vary according with returning the radius of each of the aircraft refuel or ground fuel delivery vehicles. Arrangements should be satisfy the functional requirements for the user provided with the safety, operation, efficiency, use of the available space. Provided parking for all the refueling vehicles except the use of the facility, including the identification of the position. 11.5.14. Ingress and egress provided with the drive head motion of the vehicles. All stages avoided with the backup of the vehicles on normal circumstances. Provide the smooth, efficient movement from the truck of the infield stand with the parking position and away from the parking position with the aircraft. The aprons will necessary and provided for the adequate markings to ensure safety, efficiency of vehicle movements and minimum provided the two means ingress and egress. 11.5.5. Paving uses the concrete pavement of the capable of withstanding design vehicle wheel load, seal with the joint and fuel resistant materials for circulation movements. Circulation pavements may be provided with the dismissed flexible pavement unless the economical analysis shows the rigid concrete is more cost effective with concrete pavement and aircraft refuel or ground fuel delivery vehicles parking area. 11.5.6. Containment area. The provided with the containment area consists of the impermeable retention control of the drainage system, leading to the control of remote spill containment system, evading the area with the control concrete pitch with a minimal of 1% toward the catch basin of the drains. Design of the containment area in accordance with the UFC014 federal, state, and local regulations. Do not use the asphalt with the spill of containment area and the maximum slope of any paving truck pavement in the back of the parking area should not exceed 2% of the expecting rollover. The rollover curve provided with the sum of the vertical entrance at existing rates shall not exceed 8% of the horizontal length of the curb and direction of the truck should not be less than 15 of the roller over the curb should be aligned with the perpendicular with the direction of the truck movement. 11.5.7. Remote spill control. Remote spill containment system provided with the concrete remote spill containment system designed spill containment system according to the UFC 10201 1-200-01, Florida State, federal, state, local regulations provided with the remote still the contamination system capacity greater than either the volume of the load aircraft refuel or ground fuel delivery vehicle or can run off the final rainfall intensity equal to 5-year expectancy, 1 hour duration storm provided with lockable knife gauge with relief valve indicated for the post located outside of the enclosure of the area that will be safely accessible during the fire. The valve of the drain system should be lockable with normally closed with allowable containment joint during the fuel operation, which can be opened to the drain area with the condenser. Tanking of the trucks can be larger than 10,000 gallons in capacity, considered accommodating on the remote spill containment system with other remote contamination systems on site except for the containment system. However, the tank level of the contamination in each contaminant area into the conservation construct the drain lines between the contaminant area, the remote spill containment system, between the remote spill containment system and the lockable knife gate valve. The petroleum resistant, fire resistant, impervious material. Do not use clay, concrete, fiberglass, or particular plastic pipe materials. 11.5.8 Fire protection. Refer to Chapter 2 of the UFC for the fire protection requirements. 11.5.9 Security. Provide fencing, lighting, and security is required in Chapter 2 for the UFC facility. 11.5.10 Use the provided 1-foot candle for lighting to ensure the fuel leak of the refueler is seen. 11.5.11 block heater connections. All at the facility with the aircraft, the refuelers, the ground fuel delivery vehicles have been block heaters provided with the connection for those of the heaters. Chapter 12 Major Rehabilitation.